Hello, my beautiful people. Melly Freebird here. It has been a while. Welcome to my channel, Melly Freebird's podcast, a health and wellness journey. And I'm Malika, but you can say Melly. I've been doing personal training since 2008, and my goal is to help others by working on balance to help bring good into the world as well, which I'm going to talk about today on today's topic of Miley Freebird's podcast, Health and Wellness, social media. Social media, the aspect of social media. Is it good or is it bad? What do you think about it? What are your thoughts? Okay, so I want to talk. I have been doing sit back for that. I've been doing a purge. I saw a worldwide post on social media about a week ago, and it was really interesting because I wanted to see what I'm on it a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I will do random things. I'll dance. I'll try to dance anyway. I'll do a podcast. I'll talk about my pup. I'm just I'm a freestyle person and a content creator. And, there are benefits to it because you will get monetized, not a lot, but, you're getting to show others what you do right in the way of the world, through social media. So that's kind of fun, right? You would think, right? But is it healthy for you? I feel, and I've noticed being a content creator, even before then, being a bodybuilder, that's included as well. How much do I get on social media and flex, which I used to do a lot, for example, flexing out. This is years ago when it wasn't popular as it is now, social media, that is. What do I benefit for? I'm on it. And the goal for me was to help bring good into the world, to show you all that, if you have a goal, for example, of changing your body mechanics, here's my journey. Let me show you what that is. And that's how I got started in helping to bring good into the world, being a content creator. And then, oh no, because of who I am, a free spirit, I wound up, I was just really curious. I'm just a curious person. Oh, there was a lot of people doing movement and I felt good about it. So I wanted to work on that as well. I just doing random, I don't know, posts about dancing on, I am a podcaster too since pandemic. And I want to talk about topics to me that are important and getting guests on as well, right? Health and wellness. Music was my last one too. Really fascinated to find people who are in the entertainment and how they got started and what they're doing with their life and how they're moving forward. But back to where we are right here. I got my cell phone. I have not been on social media for we got 2 more days. It's been about 5 days. It's a little challenging, if I must say so myself, because I realized how slightly I was comfortable in getting on it, just so easily adaptable to it. So I just wanted to see what, even though this post struck me as far as this gentleman saying to just see how you respond after 7 days, from the 1st to the 7th. And then I'm like, I'm that type of person, even though this man has said, I want to see for myself how I respond to it. And it has been a challenge because I realized that I am very comfortable in getting on social media. Uh, slightly, maybe slightly dependent, if I'm being honest, with my true self in it as well, because I had to go through levels, and it can be a form of dependence, and but I wanted to see what good, because I'm all about bring good into the world. What is the good aspect that it can do for you being on social media? Is there a benefit to it? And I find that it can be. As humans, we have a need for connection, and on being on social media, you can feel connected. You get to meet people who maybe you grew up with. You get to see their status, what they're doing in life, for example. If you have any hobbies, click on, right, and follow this person that maybe you are an ex cheerleader, for example, and you get to watch people younger than you, or even at this level of age where you are, watch their videos. And it's really neat. There are some good stuff to it, but a quick is fun. And you look at funny videos, for example. A lot of variety of different things can be a benefit to it for you if we don't allow it to consume us, just with our daily activities and what life entails in itself. Social media can be okay, but how long are we on it? How many times do we click on social media, especially if you're a content creator? It can trigger brain chemicals in your body that I learned by doing it's like dopamine levels, like, oh, I gotta like, or someone shared my content. And it can, if we allow it, as long as I feel like we're aware and mindful of it, and we're still able to do daily activities, I don't really see a harm in being on social media. But in some instances, it can be habit forming. So that's why I wanted to do some research, on that. So, like I said, and I went to, there was a marketing strategy. I went to go look at their content, and also the head of Instagram. His name is Adam Moiser, and what they talked about as far as our algorithm. And so that's another reason why I wanted to just pause, take a look at, because I did enjoy my algorithm that was flowing when I got on social media. But I wanted to see, how do they know what y'all doing? How, you spying on me? And yes, they are very much looking at what you like, what you get on. Even if you don't like it, they can see, what the marketing strategies are, seeing what you're watching, and what you're connecting, how you're reacting, even people you don't follow. So, I don't know if it's good or bad, depending on what your goal is to be on the social media. For me, being a content creator, I want to be able to work the algorithm in my favor. So, and I was good that I noticed this, because people who I don't follow, if I get on there and watch their reels, for example, or content and things, it switches the algorithm and I'll get new followers. And that helps with my content. As long as I working on balance, which I'm grateful now. I took a break because I realized, girl, you really like this social media, and it was a slightly dependent. I was slightly dependent on it, so it gives me time to reflect on oneself, I even did some research. I wanted to ask people at my job, for example, people, family and friends, what is it benefiting for you? And people who told me around me, yes, we get on there. And, some people at my job, for example, said they take it for what is worth, meaning like if you get on the internet and you're reading something on the social media, one of the girls from my job says she believes that, as true and takes it as that's facts. But fact check it is my whole point. And that's what we should do, because not all social media, reels or whatever you're watching, news is necessarily true. There's a lot of AI going on as well with that. And so I don't know how you feel about that. Me personally, I miss the human interaction, our own content of how we were able to create and use our brains, for it instead of getting on with this AI. But it is the way of the world, I'm noticing. So what can I do? But I did my own personal research. I didn't do a script. I'm just used to the old school a little bit. I did write my notes down. I got my paper over there, as far as learning about being a content. But who am I to say if you guys want to use AI? It does strike another algorithm, by the way. They'll be mindful of that. And I just want us to have a job too as human beings. So we got to be careful. It's all a slippery slope, being mindful of how we're using our resources, right? So anyway, connection reach. Just pay close attention to what and how we move when we get on the internet, and so the algorithm though too was really fascinating to me, because it can be a shape for us and what we like I said, if we're a content creator, if we're not, how the algorithm works when we get on it. So the less you do, by the way, on it, if you're just looking, not really interacting, you're not really going to get a lot of feedback on your news feed either. All right. So the takeaways: being mindful of how we get on the internet, what we're watching. The algorithm strikes obviously when we get on it, and peaks. There's like so much to it. For mine, I realized, I have a set time of this time to this time. The window is where people are watching my content more. Those that don't care and not really are a content creator, you actually have a window as well. I don't know if you care or not, but as far as like when you're going to get your peak videos or pictures, unless you're okay with how it moves, there's a strategic way you can do it to just entertain you, have entertainment more. But the more we get on and not mindful, it can obviously strike the dopamine levels. Oh, and then I was researching, if you're on a reel and you're watching it and you're falling asleep, for example, and the goal for that reel, right, is to have you spin. It's kind of loop, like spinning and watch it and watch it. And you wake up all of a sudden like, oh my God, the reel is still spinning on my phone, because so I'm saying this to say being mindful is key. All about the balance. I mean, that's nothing new. But it was really interesting to find the research out, ask people's opinions, their point of view. I got a lot of different feedback. Can it be a form of dependence? The answer is yes. Can it be a form of benefiting you? The answer is also yes. And can it be what would be the other one? Can it help with your foundation to help and be connected with others? The answer is yes. And so we don't, we in life, we want a balance, period, point blank. That's just what we want. So just being aware and mindful of how we move on the internet is what I took from that. I do have 2 more days, and I'm doing this for myself, just to see, how I move in oneself if I'm not on the internet. I was able to do more content to post on the internet later, and also spend time with quality time with my people here that I feel connected to. Just basic needs, taking care of oneself, drinking more water, to be honest, because when I'm posting, I'm not really drinking it as much. So it has its benefits. And I'm going to end with this. Thank you for joining me, by the way, on this week's episode on social media, the good and the not so good, right? It can have its benefits, and also it can be a little bit habit forming if we're not mindful of that. All right. I'm Mally Freebird. This is Mally Freebird's podcast, Health and Wellness. Thank you for joining me. And I want to leave with a saying that my father used to say, and I love it: to help bring good into the world. So to help bring good into the world, that's what I'm about. Thank you for joining me on this week's episode, and I will see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.